Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jenny Johnson and I also have a Instagram, Jen J Reads. That's 2 N's with the Jen, if you want to check it out there. I decided that this video I'm going to do what I've read before August of this year. And I have been on such a huge reading kick in August that needs a whole separate video. I am up to 14 books read in August and I still have like a whole nother week. I bet you I could read 3 or 4 more books. So we're gonna make a separate video for that. But I wanted to go over some books that I've read so far this year, not in August. So the first 7 months of the year. The first one that I completed was this book, The River We Remember by William Kent Krueger. And this book was very good. It is a little historical fiction. And it is like a murder mystery thing. It follows the main character as a child. He's like a middle school aged kid. It's very good. It's kind of set like back in, I don't know, like after World War II, and maybe it's a little bit after that. This is actually a signed copy that I picked up from Barnes and Noble. There it is. I did not go to the book signing, but I happened to be at Barnes & Noble and we were on our honeymoon, my husband and I picked up a few books there. And this was one of them. I read it and the whole synopsis seemed really cool. Okay, it's in the 50s, but some of the characters are back Native American, like World War II characters. It has indigenous like struggle in it. It has like, you know, rural area struggle in it. It's really a good book. It does have a little bit of trigger warning, I would just say, for if you are very sensitive to like sexual abuse. It alludes to that. It does not go into any detail. But yes, it's a very, very good book. It starts out with one of our other main characters who is sheriff, and he comes upon a body in the river, and it's like the whole story of this river. It's very, very cool. It's done well. It's fast-paced enough to keep your attention. It's a good read. I also am on Goodreads as Jenny M, and I spell Jenny Jennee, and so you can see that I have read this book and I love it. I think I gave it 4 stars. It's really hard for me to do 5 stars because I feel like most books are 3 to 4 to me. If I don't finish you get 1 star. If I just really hated it and I thought it was terrible writing, I would give it 2. But I'm like a writer myself and it's really hard for me to give like bad ratings. But honestly, I would read this book. I would recommend this book, and that makes it a 4. If it were like one of my favorite books and I knew I was going to read it over and over again, I feel like it'd be a 5, or if the writing was just super, super good. But honestly, it is really good. So yeah, it's got a lot of cool characters in it. The River We Remember. Okay, next up, I thought that I got this from the Dollar Tree, but I am wondering if I maybe picked it up at the honeymoon haul. I can't remember if I got 2 books or 3 books. I might have gotten this at the Dollar Tree like a couple months ago. So, and right now it's August 2024. So this is called It Ends With Us. Since I read this book, I was like, okay, it was fine. Like, I wasn't like super amazed by it or anything. There's themes in it that are disturbing, with abuse, and kind of like the psychology of the woman being abused is disturbing to me, which I didn't really like. I felt like it was like excusable behavior, kind of. I don't know. I didn't love it, but I would probably give this 3 stars, because it is written well. I didn't particularly like the themes, but now I realize how crazy popular. I'd never heard of Colleen Hoover. Honestly, I read so many classics that I've been like really challenging myself to like get back into like some modern writing, and I didn't love it. It wasn't something that I'll ever read again. I'm actually gonna get rid of this book, and I don't want to read the rest of them. And it's now a motion picture. I mean, yeah, it's I didn't love it, and I believe it had a little spice in it. It's been a little bit since I read it. I think I finished it in like end of January or February, and I don't care for that very much. And also, the ending was like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't know. I know I'm gonna get hate for that because I have realized how absolutely popular Colleen Hoover is and how popular this series is, but it's not my thing. So I'm sorry if it's yours. It's totally fine. No hard feelings. You can love whatever you want to love. Okay, the next book I read was Into the Night by Sarah Bailey. I've never read Sarah Bailey. This is one I picked up from Dollar Tree, and so I got it for $1.25. I did not realize whenever I picked this up that it's actually a sequel. I think there might be 3 books in this series. It seems like at the end we could have gone for another book. So I'm not sure if it's out yet or anything about that. So I'm really bad at this, but I'll just tell you, I really liked this book. The main character in here is Gemma Woodstock, and she's a very believable character. I have spent a lot of time around like first responders, and the vices that she goes through in life are very, very relatable to like first responder trauma and all of that stuff. So I believed this book as like a true perspective. Somebody must have known somebody who was a first responder, because the way that she struggles in life, even though she's an amazing detective, is very realistic for this type of work. And I really liked it. You're following her as she's going through a case or two, and then they tie it with another case that you weren't expecting or whatever. So that's pretty cool. But you're following her, you're seeing her life, her personal life, how it affects her work, how her work affects her personal life, her emotional struggles. Like, she's a very strong, amazing detective, but she also has a child, and there's like all of this turmoil in that area. And yes, I really liked this book. I would definitely like to read the first one because I didn't really realize it was the second, but it definitely is a standalone. Like, I wasn't like so confused that I was like, what in the world? Like, what's happening? It wasn't quite like that. So it's a standalone, but I do want to read the first one and possibly whatever third one. I appreciated the writing. I appreciated the realistic like struggles that this character had. Believe it or not, I've never read this. I've read a ton of Christian books, but I've never read the 5 love languages. I've taken the test on the internet, and honestly, after reading the book, it took me maybe a day to read because I just skimmed a lot. It's not that much more valuable than just taking the test online and reading the descriptions. I think it's pretty straightforward. I don't think the test was like available when the book came out, and now there's like a whole internet like cult following for love languages of teens, of couples, of single people. Like, it's just gone off the rails in every direction. It's very helpful information, so I do like that, but I was kind of hoping a little bit more than just the information on the internet that I could find that I would glean from this book, and it really didn't add value. So I'm going to give this probably a 3. Next book is a reread for me. I have not read this book for probably 10 years, and it's called On Being a Servant of God. It's by Warren Wiersbe. Warren Wiersbe is an amazing writer for the Christian community. This book is phenomenal. If you have ever served in ministry at all, this book will hit you like a ton of bricks. It's extremely practical. It goes through all of like the little like flaws and faults in the way that we think when we're ministering. And really, I feel like if everybody took this book and put it into practice, there would be so much less corruption in the church, and it would just be so life-changing. If you are in a church and you're not serving, at all, it would still be helpful because, as we know, as Christians, like, our lives are really supposed to be ministry, and I feel like it gives you like the right perspective and heart toward ministry. And also, I bought this for someone that I know is a minister and his wife, so I thought it'd be valuable to them if they'd never read it. She said they didn't, so I bought them a copy and sent it to them because this is a very, very solid, very practical, and like very biblical like perspective on serving in ministry. Okay, so that's it. Those are the books that I read from January to all the way through July. I basically averaged a book a month, and then things exploded and I caught the reading bug like I haven't had in a very long time. I have gone so far as to eliminate listening to music on the way to work. I listen to books, and so that's getting me a little bit more reading time, but also I have just redone my library card. I have been definitely like delving into books super hard in August, so I hope that when in a couple weeks I'll have a couple more books to share with you. I could be up to 20 to 22 books in August. So we'll see what my number is. I believe I'm at 15 right now. I'm starting 15, or started yesterday. So yeah, okay, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe this video, and check me out on Instagram at Jenny J Reads. Have a great one.